Welcome to the next unboxing. I've got another great kit here from Amusing Hobby. Well, hopefully great. The Focke Wulf Triebflügel. Something really special even though it never flew. There were some design drawings and even a wind tunnel model built, but that's about it. This kit is in 48th scale and here we can see the design drawings. There was never even a prototype built. Here we see the decals, clear parts and all the other sprues. Why Amusing Hobby? Well, I just finished one of their kits, the Messerschmitt 262 HG3 with the vtail. That was a really good kit. I upgraded the cockpit a bit with the Quinta decal set, but even out of the box it was fantastic to build. It didn't have too many parts, everything fit together really nicely and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I even built an airfield base for it. You can check out the videos for that project up here on the right. Then I saw this Triebflügel from the same manufacturer at a good price and thought why not give it another go, since I was so impressed with the first one. Now let's see what's inside. First the instructions. We've got a short description of the aircraft. What makes this aircraft special are the engines mounted at the tips of the wings, or rather the rotor blades. It's basically almost a helicopter, you could say. It takes off and lands vertically. My books didn't provide much more detail on the Triebflügel than what's mentioned here. Here we have an overview of the decals and parts. Then the build begins with the cockpit. The pilot was seated facing upward, with his back toward the ground, as you can see here. Next the fuselage halves are assembled, then the clear parts go on the cockpit. And interestingly, this particular part is not glued. That's because you can actually make the rotor blades spin later on. That's pretty much the main landing gear. The antennas are attached to it afterwards. Then we attach what I would call the wings with the engines at the ends. As you can see, there are even some details inside the engines. Then comes the landing gear, which can be built extended or retracted. And that's basically it for the assembly. That's what's great about Amusing Hobby kits. They don't have too many parts and you can get great results quickly. Now it gets interesting. We have 5 possible paint schemes for the Triebflügel. Here are the decals. We will take a closer look at them in a moment. It doesn't say which unit each scheme represents, but for example, we've got one in RLM 71 and 02. Then another one in RLM 61, chocolate brown with a free color camouflage. RLM 61, RLM 63 and RLM 62. I don't have any of those paints unfortunately. It looks cool, but since I don't have the colors, I'll probably won't go for that one. The third option, which I quite like, is a kind of winter camouflage, RLM 76 with mottling in RLM 75. That might be an option. Or this one also looks good, RLM 02 and RLM 71. I'm not sure if these arrows here mean that you have to blend the colors or if it's supposed to show the gradient from light to dark. That's not really explained here. Anyway, finally there's another camouflage here, a two-tone scheme in RLM 81 and RLM 82. Basically the standard late war colors. So much for that. Now let's check out the decals. We've got Balkenkreuze in black and white, all kinds of shapes, sizes and variations. That's really great. And here is a unit badge, which I think means Stab. Then we've got the Richthofen, a devil's head, the green heart, a spade and a skull. I've already used amusing hobby decals before on my Messerschmitt 262, for example. I used the skull. The decals were easy to apply, just showed a tiny bit of silvering, but that was probably my fault. And that's it for the decals. Now let's take a look at the parts. As I said, there aren't too many parts. Starting with the clear parts, 2 pieces for the canopy. These could probably use a bit of polishing. They don't look great, to be honest. They are quite thick and already have some scratches. No idea if that's from the packaging. Clear parts are always a bit of a problem, at least for me. Next, the wings. We've got 3 identical sprues. Just like on the Messerschmitt 262, we've got really nice rivet lines, and on these engine parts, very finely molded holes. And here's another engine air intake, I think. As I said, we have this sprue 3 times. Then we've got 3 more of this sprue with the rear fins or rudders, let's call them that, and also the landing gear parts. Yeah, pretty standard quality. The wheel itself is fine, nothing fancy, but okay. Then we are already at the last sprue. And here is that part that you are not supposed to glue so that it can rotate. There's a bit of flash, but it's really minor. The surface detail is great though, nice panel lines and rivets. So this piece isn't glued. Then the final sprue. Nothing too exciting on this side, so let's start over here. We've got the instrument panels, pretty basic. Here are the throttle levers and some gauges, and the main instrument panel. There is also a Quinta decal set available for this. This looks like the antenna, and here the main landing gear bay, let's call it that. And here is the fuselage. You can already get a sense of the model's size. More parts for the rotating mechanism, and another wheel with a bit of detail. There is actually a bit more flash here than on the 262, and it's not quite as nice. The seat is also very simple. But overall I have to say this will definitely be a fun little project. If you have any suggestions for which paint job I should do, let me know in the comments. Also check out my video on the Messerschmitt 262, that one turned out quite nicely I think. So thanks for watching and see you next time, bye!